Hey guys, what's up? Jordan Arell here, making my daily video on circumcision. And so I've noticed that circumcision has a certain way of affecting our masculinity and how we think about masculinity and represents a certain paradigm. And this is a paradigm that is changing now, without even judging if that was correct at the time or if it should have been here. It just has been here, and it's a paradigm that you can inflict this pain on men. You can inflict this primal, extremely destructive wound, and they should just learn to deal with it. They should learn to be able to feel that pain, experience that, and it's okay to inflict that on them, to force them to feel this, and then expect them to sort of just cope with that, and to take away their sensitivity, to sort of make them into these automatons who can serve the social order and do so without complaint, without interrupting the fabric of society, if you will. On the other hand, I think we're moving towards a society that doesn't slice off parts of the genitals of our newborn baby boys. And this society would be about allowing men to feel with complete sensitivity all of their humanity, all of their feelings, all of their sexual desire, and ability to manage that, trusting them that it's okay to have sexual desire, it's okay to feel, it's okay to have emotion, it's okay to feel pleasure, it's okay to be happy. We actually have that luxury that we can enjoy ourselves. We don't have to, destroy our genitals and just suffer through it and survive and get by and serve society. We can actually be productive members of society and contribute with independence, contribute to the world with our freedom, with our full livelihood, with our full intact emotions, ability to feel all of our emotions too, is a huge part of it. It's the circumcision doctrine is one in which men aren't allowed to feel. Circumcision actually, has been shown to make it so men don't feel or understand or have the ability to communicate their emotions. It causes alexithymia, which is that inability to really know what's going on inside and tell people about it. And that's what's defined masculinity in American culture, is the inability to actually feel emotions. And this is very clearly related to circumcision, both scientifically and, just logically, of course. You're forcing this extremely violent procedure that was designed in America and in its religious history to take away men's sexual pleasure and to have this very, very painful experience sort of mold who they are, so that they have to learn to deal with that pain, versus again allowing them to actually feel their natural state, their pleasure, their natural masculinity, their sensitivity, their ability to communicate sexually, to have that sensitivity and ability to feel and to react and to be in communion with their female or male sexual partners. And so that's the new ideal. Now there's one more piece here that I think is really important, critical actually, which is the transition from a circumcising to an intact society. And the way that this happens is actually there's a lot of circumcised men already here. The rates are sharply declining, but it's still around 50%. And so for the men who are alive today, who are victims of this extreme violence, who basically have the choice of whether or not they want to do this to their sons. The option for them is they've already had this violence inflicted upon them, and they can either consciously feel that experience of pain, of loss, and really understand what was done to them, really sort of deflect that imperative that has been forced on them to not feel, to not experience, and feel all of the pain, all of the trauma that's been caused them by circumcision, and learn to feel despite this profound sensory loss of most of the nerve endings in their penis, of most of their sexual sensitivity, and really heal that, actually really be willing to feel that, which feeling is healing, as I've said before. And by doing that, actually transform this darkness, transform this pain into light, into understanding, and into love, ultimately, into a society where we feel, where we are kind to our children, where we teach them how to build a good world rather than trying to force a preconceived idea of how we think the world should be, with all the rules and regulations that constrict them from doing anything bad. It's actually trusting them, actually teaching them how to care, teaching them how to feel, how to be sensitive, and just allowing that to naturally unfold in them rather than forcing this pain on them. But again, that transition is really actually feeling the pain that has already been forced on us, being willing to transform that into strength, into power, into sensitivity, into empathy, into a really empowered way of experiencing masculinity, in which we are no longer trapped inside this old paradigm, but we can create the new one to whatever we want it to be. I think it's very obvious and natural what sort of path that will take. I'm trying to outline it very broadly here, but I'm really excited. I'm really excited that in the next, in the next few years, likely probably by 2025, I think we will make circumcision illegal, because we will have felt, we will have seen, we will understand it, and we will redefine masculinity to not be about abuse and willingness to suffer abuse and willingness to be molded into this controlled, rule-following being, but actually into a generative, loving, creative, empowered creature that we have the potential to be. So as always, thank you so much for watching, guys. It's my pleasure to do these videos, to hear your comments, to interact with you. Let's create a new world together. It's time, and circumcision is going to end. I promise you that. Thanks, guys. Talk to you tomorrow.